Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. Just back with another quick one. You know, just meditating, drowning my thoughts in my meditation, because pretty much like the scriptures say, there's no new thing under the sun, And what I was meditating on, which inspired me to do this, was the fact that, back in ancient Egypt, after the Lord delivered us and we were in the wilderness, the Lord gave us everything that we needed. The Lord took care of us. He nourished us, and it's nothing new today being in the wilderness, this barren land, this land of just, like the scriptures say, in the valley of the shadow of death, in the midst of this death culture, right? Just a dry land, just like I said, a wilderness, and even with that being said, again, the Lord, he's nourishing us just like he did in the ancient world while we were wandering in the wilderness. I'm gonna get this real quick, and what was it? The book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 9. I mean, really, you can start at the first verse or read on down, but the point is in I started verse 20. The point's in 21, but I started verse 20. Thou gavest also thy good spirit to instruct them, and withheldest not thy manna from their mouth, and gavest them water for their thirst. Yea, 40 years didst thou sustain them in the wilderness, so that they lacked nothing. Their clothes waxed not old, and their feet swelled not. So again, the Lord, he sustained us. He nourished us. He nurtured us. Took care of us. Right? And it's nothing new today. It's the same thing today. Really, the only difference being the elect. All right, because all Israel at this time is not going to get saved, of course. But only the remnants are going to be looking after, be nourished, taken care of. The Lord's going to make sure that they're all right. Through wisdom, of course, which we're learning wisdom. Again, in a place that's just barren, spiritually speaking, is barren. All right, everything here is destructive. The all the seducing spirits, and it's easy to get consumed. Make no mistake about it. Being in this truth it's hard, especially when you're trying to do the right thing and you're just surrounded by wickedness. It's easy to get consumed. It's been in my spirit as well. Because that's why the Lord has to speed the time up. That's why we got to get out of here. Because if not, then like Enoch, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Enoch, he was translated, he was abducted. Matter of fact, I just look it up real quick, because he was taken at a at that time, it was a relatively young age. At that time, men were living to be 5, 6, 7, 800 years old. But Enoch, he was taken relatively young. Bear with me. Bear with me. So Enoch, yeah, he was under 400 years, 365 years. And again, at that time, it was that was relatively young because men were living a lot longer back then. But just to show you how, when it comes to just being surrounded by wickedness, again, spiritually speaking, we're in a barren land. We're in a desert. All right. Spiritually speaking, we're in the wilderness. So, with all this wickedness, death culture around us, it's easy to get consumed, taken up. So that's why, again, we got to get out of here soon. The Lord, He's got to do something. If not, then we're all, you know, we're through. But again, that's the point. While we are going through this experience, and we are wanderers, we're travelers, right? Because America's nothing but a pit stop. It's not the final destination. Thank God Almighty, this ain't the final destination. But in the process, we're learning wisdom. All right, the Lord is teaching us a valuable lesson, of course. You see. So with that, like I said, the Lord has given us what we need, because like in the wilderness back in the ancient world, ancient times, hey, that manna, the water, ultimately Yahweh Shai, which that's the main lesson. One of the main lessons we're being taught is this: to completely trust in Yahweh Shai, because He's our bread, our water. This truth, it's what keeps us alive. It nourishes us. you know. So what was I going to get? I'm gonna get this, and where's that at? Job chapter 8. Job chapter 8, and I'm also read this in the GNT. But Job 8, starting at verse 11. Can the rush grow up without mire? Can the flag grow without water? While it is yet in his greens and not cut down, it wherewith before any other herb. So are the paths of all that forget God, and the hypocrite's hope shall perish. So I'm gonna read this in the GNT. Give me a second. So Job chapter 8, starting at verse 11 in the GNT, says, reeds can't grow where there is no water. They are never found outside a swamp. If the water dries up, they are the first to wither, while still too small to be cut and used. Godless people are like those reeds. Their hope is gone once God is forgotten. You see, and obviously that's the case. When it comes to 2/3, like I mentioned, all Israel ain't gonna make it on this side. Unlike in the ancient world, even the 2/3, um, the Lord was with Jake, but on this go around, 2/3 ultimately they're going to be withered. The nuclear destruction, if they're not taken up by Jacob's trouble, the fire from the nuclear missiles, Jake is going to be withered away ultimately. But it's important because, like I said, reeds can't grow where there is no water. They are never found outside a swamp. If the water dries up, they are the first to wither. So you see, and that's us, spiritually speaking. Scriptures talk about, roughly paraphrasing, being planted like trees being planted by a river, you know, and trees, plants, anything planted by a river, that's is going to flourish, it's going to be sustained, you know, it's going to be nourished. You see, and that's this truth, you know, that's Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, we of course have these living waters, so you know, stick with it, man. Because again, it's easy to get dried up. Like I said, it's easy to be consumed and overtaken by all the wickedness, seducing spirits and things out here, man. It's easy, you know. So I'm also get this, and what is that? Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 24, verse 30. I'm gonna start at verse 30. Sirach 24 and 30. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduit into a garden. I said, matter of fact, I'm gonna get this. It's on my spirit. Because you know, wisdom, you know, that's what we're learning through this process as we're pilgrims passing by. All right. Wisdom and the application of it. I'm gonna get this. As a matter of fact, before I get that, I'm gonna get this. In James, because that wisdom, man, and the application of it, you know, it's important. This is what we're learning. In James chapter 3, I'll start at verse 13. Who is wise? Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. Talk about the wisdom of this world. You know, the wisdom of this world, which is not wisdom to Yahweh Shema Shai, in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, with partiality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. So, you know, this wisdom from above, you know, because wisdom does dwell with the throne of Yahweh Shema Shai, and through wisdom, this is how we obtain the Lord's favor. All right, and the more we apply it, hey, you know, this is what it's about. So now I want to go to wisdom of Solomon. And you know, wisdom is a nurturing spirit, you know. Through wisdom, listen, when everyone is going this way and that way, wisdom, she's gonna be there to tell you, go this way. You stay like the book of Eli, you know. You know, where he was pretty much had these certain obstacles, and hey, you gotta stay the course, you know, stay the course. As much as he wanted to get involved, and nope, you gotta stay the course, you know, and that's wisdom, you know. Like I said, while everyone else is doing this, doing that, going this away and that away, wisdom is you don't go over there. Stay right here or move this way, you know. Don't do that, do this, you know. But the wisdom of Solomon 8:1, wisdom reacheth from one end to another, mightily and sweetly doeth she order all things. So you see, man, and this is what's taking place. All right. The elect men of the nation of Israel are waking up. All right, coming back in order. you know, coming back into our old ancient customs, you know. Again, we're being put in the Lord's good graces again, which that's a threat to Esau Edom. All right, that's a threat, you know. But this is what's taking place, you know. This is what's taking place. All right, brothers are waking up, coming back into the order, coming back into their true heritage. All right, cutting off the ways of this world, you know, like this tells you in Isaiah, hey, the remnant aren't going to stay on Esau, roughly paraphrasing, you know, because again, that manna that the Lord was feeding Jake in the wilderness, you know, that the water, right? Ultimately, Yahweh Shai. And that's the ultimate message. Hey, trust and believe, rely on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you know. And with that being said, hey, the Spirit of the Lord is going to be our guide through this wilderness. All right, so now going to Ecclesiasticus 24, because we are being nurtured, you know. 24 and verse 30 again. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduit into a garden. I said, I will water my best garden, and I will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. So you see, man, you know, because it said, I said, I will water my best garden and will water abundantly my garden bed, you know. And you can like this unto the elect. Again, you know, the elect men of the nation of Israel, you know, you see, man, being nourished, taken care of, fed, spiritually speaking, you know, being fed, given everything that we need, protection, province, you know, everything that we need, you know, from the spiritual gems, the spiritual qualities, you know, we're learning integrity. All right, like I read in James, you know, mercy and compassion, true judgment, all of the above. You know, these are things that we're all learning, whether it be spiritual, you know, on a carnal sense, you know, the Lord's going to look out. He is looking out. And he's, you know, he's going to continue to look out. All right, because again, we are in a wilderness, man. You know, and you know, in the wilderness, you got a bunch of dragons and just beasts, you know. But the Lord's going to take care of us. He's going to give us everything that we need. You know. So that was just something real quick. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Shai, and shalom to you, hopefully elect.